Adding a drinks package to your cruise booking can be one of the most expensive add-ons that you're going to purchase for your trip. In some cases, the cost of a drinks package can even exceed what you paid for the actual cruise in the first place. For that reason, it's important for you to know about these 10 mistakes that cruisers often make with drinks packages in order to ensure that you don't make any of them with your future cruises. If you enjoy this video today, then please support my channel by clicking both the thumbs up and the subscribe buttons. If you've just found me today for the first time, then I'm Fraser and I use my YouTube channel to share all of my cruise tips and my advice with you to hopefully help you have the best cruise possible. Anyway, let's jump into number 1. And when it comes to drinks packages, so many cruisers don't realise that although it is a drinks package, that doesn't mean unlimited, and that means that there can often be a limit on the number of drinks you can have per day. Now don't worry, I'm not about to tell you that booking a drinks package then means that you have a limit of 2 or 3 drinks per day. It's far from that. There are some cruise lines out there who apply a limit of around 15 drinks per day to your account. And that might sound like a lot, but it would really surprise you how quickly and how easily you can reach your limit. One of the tips that we'll come back to later in this video is that I always use my drinks package to take some drinks from one of the bars back to my cabin or stateroom. That means that when I go back to my room, I've always got a drink there that I can enjoy in the comfort of my own room. However, if I choose to fill my mini fridge on one day, that suddenly means that I can be 6 or 7 drinks into my 15 drink allowance before I've even had a beer or a glass of wine or even an orange Fanta during the day on my cruise. It's important to note that these 15 drink limits usually will include soft drinks, water, alcohol. They include essentially anything liquid. Even specialty coffees will be included in that. So just make sure that you read the small print with whatever drinks package you're planning to book to avoid potentially having an awkward interaction on board because you've hit your 15 drinks, but you've accidentally filled your minibar up all in one day. The second big mistake that so many cruisers make, and this one amazes me and also really frustrates me, is that they don't add the drinks package to their cruise booking before they get on the ship. They wait until they get on board and then pay for it once they get on there. The reason why this really frustrates me is that it's usually always cheaper to add things like drinks packages to your cruise account before you head down to get on the ship. You'll find that online bookings for that kind of add-on will open as soon as your cruise booking is confirmed. As soon as your booking is confirmed, you'll have a confirmation code or a booking reference. You can then use that to log into your online account, and that's where you can add drinks packages. You'll usually find it's about 10 or 15% cheaper, if not more, to do that at that point rather than wait until you get on the ship. I meet so many people who assume that, well, it's a captive audience when you're on the ship. Surely it's last chance saloon. The cruise line will apply huge discounts to get people to buy it. That is just simply not the case. You're going to pay more for, to be honest, the simple reason that you are a captive audience. And if you want a drinks package at that point, well, you're probably going to pay 10% extra, aren't you? It is worth noting that in order to add to your cruise before you board, the online bookings will usually close about 3 days before the cruise departs. So just make sure that you log on, say a week, 2 weeks, however long before that in advance, and you'll be good to go. Third, so many cruisers assume that when they book a perks included package, that covers the full drinks package on the ship. In my experience, this isn't the case. I recently took a cruise with Celebrity Cruises, and I had a classic drinks package applied to my account. The travel agent that I booked through, the small print, just said includes drinks, and I thought, oh, that's amazing. It wasn't until I got on the ship that I realised that although I could have one type of red wine, one type of white wine, one type of rosé wine, and some basic house spirits, there wasn't really that much extra that I could get. I then had the opportunity to upgrade to the premium drinks package, and that then unlocked so many more options. So just be really careful if you book a perks included rate to understand exactly what that entails. Now, I'm not saying don't book a perks included rate. All I'm saying here is be careful that you know exactly what you're going to get with it. And remember that when you get onto the ship, you'll usually have the option to then upgrade to the premium drinks package. In my case, on that celebrity cruise, it was a no-brainer. It cost me about $100 to upgrade for the entire 7-night cruise. So hopefully you'll find yourself in the same situation. Fourth, so many cruisers, particularly those who are new to cruising, assume that you can add a drinks package for just one person. Think about it. Obviously, cruise lines aren't going to allow you to do that, because if I had a drinks package but my cruising companion didn't, I would then just probably go and buy him or her a drink every now and again. For that reason, everybody in the same cabin needs to have a drinks package. You'll usually also find that when you go to a bar, they will charge one drink to your account and one drink to the other person's account, just so that they can eliminate anybody buying drinks for people that don't have packages. Now, if you are watching this video and you're thinking, great, well, I'm travelling with someone who is, for example, pregnant. Why would I have to buy a full alcoholic drinks package for that person? Well, that's usually totally fine, because you would be able to apply for a medical exemption, or some cruise lines would allow you to buy a non-alcoholic refreshment package instead of paying for the full alcohol deal. I've also seen in the past where one of my friends took a cruise with his partner who couldn't drink for religious reasons, and they were able to submit some sort of note that then meant that he could have a drinks package, but she didn't have to have one on her account. Now, I'm not sure about how widespread that religious exemption would be, but it definitely is worth checking for your cruise line if they allow it, if that's a problem that you're facing. Fifth, so many cruisers don't properly research exactly what's included in a drinks package. If you have started to research cruise packages, you will know that there are so many when it comes to drinks. You could get a non-alcoholic refreshment package, you could get a classic alcohol package, a premium alcohol package, a water package, a coffee package, a children's package. You get the picture. There are so many packages that you could go for. I meet a lot of people who just apply the top package to their account, and then when they go on the ship, they just drink house red wine or the odd vodka and coke. It's absolutely not worth paying for the premium drinks package in most cases if you're going to drink fairly standard drinks, because they will usually be included on the classic or the basic alcoholic package. So just spend a bit of time researching exactly what's included in each package. Also think what you're actually going to drink during your cruise based on what you do at home, because there's no point in applying the top package that unlocks all this premium vintage champagne if you're just not going to touch it. Number 6, staying on that topic of just applying the top package and assuming that's what you do, the next mistake that so many cruisers make is they either apply a drinks package to their account when they just don't need one, or they don't apply a drinks package to their account when they really should have applied one. Now, both of these can cause quite big issues, both of them, to be honest, from a financial point of view. If you look at those who do not add a drinks package when they really should have done, they probably get to day 3 or day 4 of the cruise and realise that they are spending a lot more money on alcohol than what they expected. All of their individual purchases are also subject to, for example, an 18% gratuity because it's bought not on a package, and suddenly their costs are spiralling out of control. If you look at those who did apply a package when they don't need it, then they've spent all this money up front and they're never really going to get any value back for it. So this goes back to the point of research. With some things, I always think you're better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. But to be honest, that's when I'm referring to things like waterproof jackets or motion sickness medication. It's not for things like drinks packages. Number 7, have you ever sat at a bar and looked at the bartender pouring drinks and thought, I wonder what brand of vodka that is, or that doesn't look like a bottle of Bailey's it's being poured from? Well, the next big mistake that so many cruisers make is when they do apply a premium or a top drinks package to their cruise account is that they don't ask for the premium alcohol. If you apply a top package to your cruise account and you go to the bar and ask for an Irish cream, you're probably going to get some sort of house variety of Irish cream. You're probably not going to get a Baileys. Now, that's not out of badness from the bartender's part at all. It's probably just due to the fact that most people, when they ask for an Irish cream or when they ask for a vodka, they're happy with the house vodka, the house Irish cream, the house red wine, for example, and they automatically don't just go and pour the premium brand. But if you are paying to have more expensive wines, for example, make sure that when you go to the bar, you're ordering the more expensive, arguably higher quality drink rather than the one that's included with all of the house packages. It's a really easy one to overlook. And just remember that not all bartenders will know that you've got a premium drinks package until they scan your card at the end of making your drink. So it's not on them to know if you've got the premium package, the classic package, no package. It's on you to ask. Number 8. Remember earlier when I mentioned about taking drinks back to your cabin or stateroom? Well, the next big mistake that so many cruisers with a drinks package make is they don't realise that you can usually take drinks back to your room to enjoy whenever you want to. Now, cruise lines probably aren't going to allow you to take 12 drinks back to your room all at the one time. But usually if you go and speak to a bartender and say, hey, I've got a drinks package, I'd like to take 2 beers or maybe 2 cans of water or 2 lemonades back to my cabin to just leave them in my fridge, that's usually absolutely fine. I've only had an issue on one cruise ship ever, and I know it wasn't even that cruise line because I was able to do it a few weeks later on another one of their ships. That one issue, the bartender said I actually can't give you a drink without opening it, which in the case of a lemonade, well, it's not going to be much use when you go to get that open can 2 days later, is it? Now, the reason why I do this is because I always really love, when I come back on the ship after a busy day exploring ashore, I really like to just have 10 minutes relaxing in my cabin, even just lying on my bed, sipping an orange Fanta. I can't even pretend to be any more upmarket than that, but I just love an orange Fanta when I come back to my cruise ship. Now, put yourself in that position. Maybe it would be a beer that you would like. Maybe it would also be an orange Fanta, or maybe even just a water. Think about if you come back to the room at night after you've been wandering the ship and all night, you might even have been in the nightclub. If you come back late and you just want a drink of water, okay, fine, you can usually drink from the bathroom tap, but I personally never do, so that would mean that I would have to take my reusable water bottle all the way up to the buffet, as an example, to then fill it with water to come back down. But if I just had cans of water in the room, well, I'd be able to just get in the cabin, put my pyjamas on, and go to sleep. Before I jump into number 9, if you are enjoying this video, then as I mentioned earlier, please do support my channel by clicking both that thumbs up button and also the subscribe button. Now, number 9 is an interesting one. The 9th big mistake that so many people make when it comes to cruise drinks packages is they don't actually look at the details of their itinerary when they're making their decision. They just look at the fact they're going on a 7-night cruise with X amount of sea days. Therefore, yeah, let's book a drinks package, or no, let's not book a drinks package. But there are so many other factors that you need to think about. One big example that I would give you is that if you're on a Mediterranean cruise versus a Caribbean cruise, your logic with drinks packages might be a little bit different. I know it definitely is when it comes to me personally. If I'm on a Mediterranean cruise and it's docking in ports like Barcelona, Palma, Ibiza, Rome, Marseille, there are so many different ports there that will offer you quite a big city experience. That means that you're probably going to spend a lot of hours off of that ship exploring and seeing everything that can be seen during your 10-hour port visit. That means that you're going to have less time on the ship, so therefore you probably wouldn't drink as much as if you were on the ship for longer periods during the day. It also means that when you come back on board at night, you're going to be really tired. So I personally, on a Caribbean cruise, get more value for money with a drinks package because I'm staying up later, because in the morning, even if I'm going off the ship, it's quite often to just go and relax on the beach. So I'm staying up later, I'm going for drinks after dinner, I'm maybe even going to the nightclub on board. But in Europe and in the Med, I quite often will have dinner, go for one drink, and then call it a night. So just be really careful from an itinerary point of view. The other big thing you should think about when it comes to cruise itinerary, and this one is if you're cruising in the Caribbean, is whether or not your cruise will be visiting a private resort or a private island. The reason why you should look at that is that most people just think about, well, how many days at sea will we have? And therefore, can I or can I not use my drinks package? Some people then assume that because the ship is going to a private island that is owned by the cruise line, well, that's fine. I'll absolutely be able to use my drinks package when we get there. And that's not always the case. So with some private islands like the beach club at Bimini, which is where Virgin Voyages go, you can use your bar tab there, which is the money that you put on your account before you get onto the ship. But if you're cruising to places like Celebration Key or Half Moon Key in the Bahamas, then you're not going to be able to use your drinks package when you go ashore. So just be really careful that you do your homework. One other example I would give is that at the point of recording this video, Perfect Day at Half Moon Cay did allow you to use your drinks package. So it's absolutely not the same rules for every cruise line. So just make sure you do your homework. Number 10. Did you know that when you book a drinks package, you often unlock further discounts on things like bottles of wine? It's not just individual drinks that people can benefit from when it comes to having drinks packages on their account. If you take Royal Caribbean as an example, any guest that's cruising with the deluxe beverage package at the point of recording this video automatically secures a 40% discount off of bottles of wine. Another example, if you're based in the UK, is Fred Olsen Cruise Lines, who offer a 50% discount on bottles of wine for anyone who has their drinks package, so it's well worth checking. And that's it. That's 10 of the big mistakes that so many cruisers make when it comes to booking drinks packages, not booking drinks packages, or just booking the wrong drinks package. Now, I hope you have enjoyed this video today. If you have, then please come and join me in another one. I would love you to join me over here. In this video, I share with you some of the big hidden costs of cruising, because I've met so many people who get on board and their costs start to spiral. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you over here.